accepted, challenge accepted. The attitude is always challenge accepted. Challenge accepted, challenge accepted. The attitude is always challenge accepted.
You know, a lot of great things started from Plovdiv, the oldest living city in Europe, the city of hills, art and tech innovation.
And so is our very first speaker today. She's a developer, a leader, a teacher, and a true community builder.
Founder and CEO of IT Talents Academy, chairperson of Drupal Bulgaria Association, and a driving force behind many initiatives that shape the IT community in Bulgaria.
She's not only helping business scale smarter, but also creating opportunities for the next generation of IT professionals.
Today she'll talk about something vital for every leader in every company: how to build successful teams and remain profitable in the age of AI and economic change.
Please welcome to the stage from Plovdiv, Bulgaria,
Maria Totova Cholakova!
Hello, everybody. Just give me a sec. Thank you for the kind introduction, and I'm so happy to see so many people here today. I'm really excited about being part of this conference for the first time, and I will not miss another one for sure. First, a few words about me. Yeah, okay. Little technical problem. Okay, this works now. So, I live and work in my hometown, Plovdiv, and I'm happy to be a founder of my own company from about a year ago. But other than that, I also have a background as a developer. I would say that, yeah, even now I love programming a lot, so I continue working as a PHP developer. Yes, PHP, we are still alive and kicking. Other than that, I'm also part of several non-government associations. I have the big pleasure to teach Drupal, the technology I use, to students in Plovdiv University. So I strongly believe in training the future experts, future rising stars in our technologies. I'm also a speaker, mentor, trainer, event organizer, and I hope I'll see many of you again on the next events. And now the topic that I'm here to present today, it's about the problems that the businesses faces nowadays. And also this reflects to developers, which is pretty normal. So as my functionality as a CEO and also as a developer, I had opportunities to see the problems from both sides. So here are some of the main features that I'll present, but most of all, when you talk to businesses about their problems, about their struggles, the concise way to present this is projects are not profitable anymore. This is a big issue, of course, and the reasons for this are multiple. But most of all, these are the economic changes that we have nowadays. You know, high local taxes everywhere, significant salaries costs, some raises during the last years as well. And it proves very difficult to maintain big teams of in-house specialists anymore. Just the companies don't have the money to have this as it used to be before. On the other hand, recruiting and maintaining proves really expensive for most companies. Some countries experience a real shortage of skilled IT developers, which doesn't apply to Bulgaria, for which I'm extremely happy because we have a big talent pool. So that's really amazing for us. But yes, outside of us in Europe and the USA, there's still lack of talent, and especially of talent development, which is presents some fears for the future, but we'll see them in a few minutes. Another thing, aside from the economic changes, we see the big AI boom. And this could be good, this could be bad, depending on how it is used, as every tool that we have. So many companies, however, choose to think of AI as the perfect solution that can replace humans, replace developers, and especially replace junior developers, which is a really, really bad decision. But in the time being, more and more companies are actually seeing that this is kind of a mistake, or at least it doesn't have the results they expected in the beginning. While AI tools and automation are very good things to have, it proves necessary to always have the human factor in the middle. Companies are still tempted to cut employees, and that's why we see so many big layoffs. It's inevitable. But more and more of them see that this could have proven a mistake. And another thing that I already mentioned, replacing junior developers is something really scary, because today's juniors are our tomorrow's seniors, our future stars. We cannot risk them, and we cannot replace them by machines for sure. All these decisions, all these necessities, they undermine the team building and the successful delivery of projects. So the traditional approach is failing indeed. The old in-house senior heavy teams that we used to have, they are no more effective because companies cannot afford to keep so many people. There are too much fixed costs due to salaries, benefits, trainings, even, of course, local taxes. And most of all, companies cannot be flexible. And nowadays, one of the most important things that you can learn is to be adaptable, to be flexible. And if we are not, we cannot move on with the new trends. So companies, and I'm talking mostly about small to mid-sized companies, they need to adapt, and they have already seen this. That's why more and more people, more and more companies, use another way of working nowadays. It proves more flexible when you have some economic changes like we did. And the solution that they have seen, or they are now trying, is the so-called strategic hybrid model. What is this? Well, it combines the best of both worlds. So you keep your main in-house team, smaller. Sadly, I'm also willing to see more people in-house, but other big part of the companies remain outsourced people, or external, let's call them external developers or professionals. This, however, provides big scalability, and we'll see about this more. So, what is the best way to handle this approach of in-house plus external specialists? Well, I would recommend that each company, which is actually having an IT department or their digital agency that is actually providing such services, they must keep their in-house core team. Because these are the so-called brains, but these are project managers, these are the architects, the team leads, the people who doesn't necessarily have all the technical knowledge, but they have the knowledge about the product, the brand, the goals of the business of the company. And these are the people who take the best care of your company. External talent, or the muscles, the needed power, which can be extended, can be hired when the necessity come. These are developers and experts. Maybe your company even uses different technologies, but in a project you need something else. So this is the time when you can get specialized skills. And for on the project basis or term-based. Another thing that is very important to talk about is this thing that we call seniority pyramid. This is about hiring developers of different levels. So far, many companies have this approach of hiring mostly senior developers. Yeah, but this proves too expensive. Besides, you cannot train young juniors who will in the future become mid and senior developers, and they will become your core employees. So it's always important to have hybrid teams. This proves more affordable from financial point of view, but also it keeps people progressing with levels with the knowledge about the company. Usually, how can this be made to work better? Well, the senior people in your company, senior leads, they're the ones that take the main decisions, technical decisions. They're the architect who provide the planning and everything about the implementation of the software you are building. But they are also mentors. And this is something very important, because we need to have seniors mentoring the junior. So if we want to have seniors in the future, of course. The mid-level developers are usually the ones that handle core feature developments, while juniors take less, let's call them smaller tasks, but they learn in the process. And what we can do now, even with AI, we can boost these juniors so they can become mid and senior developers even faster than before. And speaking about AI, as everything else that we have used, it can be used in a good or a bad way. So we should not forget that after all, AI is just a tool. It's not so always check what you use the AI to provide, because sometimes it can tell you about libraries that don't exist. There are people out there who are just waiting for stuff, and they can provide libraries that can do very bad things to your system. So blindly trust AI. Use them, but speed up your work. It really helps. About coding, only because it's not only about methods, it's about methods for coding as well. We have Stack Overflow where we can find solutions. We know that the developers will reinvent the wheel. That's not the goal. Reuse as much as possible. But always don't take it. Don't take it. Always and be sure that it's okay. And I'm also very careful about coding practices. This best practice I want to my developers. We need to maintain easy maintain for you when you update this code, you should understand it. But also for other developers that will be joining the project. So AI can produce a lot of code maintainable and code that has bad performance, fully optimize something very important to take care of. The code AI generated build and refined final, and this is really a must. How can we make this happen actually? It's about always writing for the right part. Many companies don't have to working with outsourcing companies. They cannot onboard and they're wondering how they can market part of our team there, outside people. They care about those skill developers are needed. Something that's very important for all developers, this is that skills for something that is good to know. It's really a necessity. Especially if you're planning to work as a freelancer, outsourcing employee, as a remotely working developer. You should have clear communication skills. Not only this, but to know, reach out to the manager, someone that is coming, some issue coming, how to think about what's good for the plan, how to think problems you can save them from making mistakes, and so on. You should be also flexible, not to be afraid to ask questions, to clarify things before you start working, and things like that. Really important. And this is something that more and more companies are they're not just looking how many employees they're also heavily on the soft skills. I mentioned here again the programming standards and coding standards. It's really important. Businesses already know this. So I urge never mind what technology you use, but always apply best practices and coding standards. Let's have clean code. Something that's also really important. Cheaper solutions. But soon they figure out that we are very important to have also cultural fit and to have a collaborative so they can be easily and quickly they can feel part of their team while they are working for this company for a month only for a month. It's very important. I'm sure there are a lot of developers here. This is something that's important for you. And investing into junior talent, this is a really painful topic for me because I'm also a trainer and a teacher in the university. So I really trust a lot in training, into mentoring young people, because we have seen plenty of technologies that have died just before. They don't have a strong community. There are not young people who to take the lead and to move this technology as a progress. I didn't forgot to mention in the beginning that I come from the Drupal community. This is one of the biggest and most amazing open source communities. So I have always felt, even as a junior, I felt the support there, and we have this saying, come for the code, stay for the community. And this is indeed very important because now in our community, we are actually the driving force. And the more and more newcomers that we have in our community, we are more confident about the future of our technology. And it's the same with any other technologies. It's very important. And companies should also understand this. If they want to have technologies, free open source technologies, if they want to have developers in their teams who are acquainted with their product, their software they're building, they cannot rely only on senior developers because we need young people as well, and they need to get trained. We cannot have seniors out of nowhere. They learn. So this is very important, and I'm seeing some changes lately, so companies also starting to take juniors as well. It's difficult, I know, and especially working with students, I know how difficult it is for them to find the first job, but this is possible, and there are companies who invest into training, which is very good. Another solution that mostly small companies take is, for example, they get a project, but they don't have, let's say, PHP developers. So they reach out to fellow small companies that have such teams, and they just work together. And this is also relevant abroad as well, not only in Bulgaria. And it is a very good thing. For example, in our community, I have seen a lot of companies who have been rivals. Now they are working together and they make more profit than before. So it's not always about competition. You can join forces and sometimes achieve even better results. And one thing that is very important about how to make this happen, how to get external developers or professionals. Well, onboarding is a crucial step. And this is something that most companies have struggles with. They are just not aware of how this happens. And this is how outsourcing companies can help. They should provide such onboarding lists. And this is important because if you onboard the person quicker, faster, he or she can start working on the project a lot faster than taking weeks, for example. But the company should also have prepared stuff like providing access to the repo, providing access to their chat systems, emails, and so on. Also checking how the developer has local setups and things like that, things that are very easy for us as developers, but some managers, they're not so technically acquainted, so it's very important to have this clear. And of course, regular communication and feedback is crucial. It helps also to you as a developer, even if you're working as a freelancer. If you get early feedback from the client about your performance, it will make you perfect, better. You will improve things that you didn't see, for example. And the whole collaboration with the client will be much better. There will be no quarrels. Things will be fixed faster. So it's really important, even if you're working alone to some company, require this early feedback and regular feedback. It will prove very good for you as well as a specialist. Yeah, about some key takeaways that we can have from this. What is the most important thing that the biggest change that we see, this is the hybrid model that most companies embrace nowadays. And this is the blend in-house control with external flexibility. Let's not forget the blend of between different levels, so that we have junior, mid, and senior. This proves very good for the total budget, so the final project budget doesn't explode. AI, of course, do not forbid it, do not exclude it, use it heavily, but always check what you get as a result. Don't trust blindly. Use it as a tool, what it is actually. And yeah, manage actively. Best external partners happen when you have good management in the companies. And this is something that companies also should improve. But it works well. As a final thought, I could say that in the age of AI and economic change, the most successful agencies won't be the biggest ones. They will be the most adaptable. And doesn't apply only to agencies, to businesses, it also applies to developers. So we are developers. We know that we learn every day, so we need to improve. And now, more than ever, we need to adapt and to be flexible in order to find the best job. And this is from me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Any questions?
Yeah, I'm very open to questions. Even if you don't want to ask me now, you can find me in the speaker corner. I'll go there just after this presentation. So feel free, please. But I have some t-shirts, and since I'm from Plovdiv, if I knew the answer, it was very simple to me. So I will have one more t-shirt to give away. Hey.
Hello, hello.
Wow,
different voices works. So thank you for your talk. You mentioned that the first best of both worlds is when you have internal management and leads, and then you have external developers. But from my experience, very frequently I see when we have externals, we have knowledge islands, and sometimes we're chasing back a developer from like 5 years ago because they know this API and they developed it in very bad standards. So what's your advice here? Should a lead level in internal company also include an architect, or someone should, show the seniority to developers so that the external developers actually are maintaining those standards and nice practices? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's a very good question. Yeah, actually, this is also part of the onboarding process. When an employee is onboarded, I wanted the company to also present to him or to her what are their company standards. This, of course, includes always the general coding standards, the best practices we receive from each technologies, but it's very important for the employees to know from the beginning what is important to follow. So, yeah, I would say that there are companies that totally and fully outsource their teams, but what I have seen as best collaboration is when they keep in-house senior, whether it's a team lead or whether it's an architect. Sometimes it's just difference in job title, but it's always best when there is one person who is most responsible, who will do the code reviews, who will check how the tasks are delivered on time or not, if the developer understands the requirements, if the communication is good with the client, because sometimes we have communication direct with clients. So yes, definitely this will be the most profitable. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there another question for here?
Please.
Okay, as you heard, there is a dedicated speaker's corner where Maria will be waiting for you in the next break.
Yes.
And every speaker will be waiking for you there after their respective talk. So let's send her, Maria, off the stage with big round of applause. Maria Cholakova.